Hi up, it's Steve from that old Yorkshire geek, and welcome to my midweek live news stream where I've curated some news articles for us to look at and a trailer as well. Right, so anyway, before we start, don't forget, like and subscribe, share the videos, drop a comment, hit the notification bell if you're subscribed already. Right, we should be live on YouTube. Yes, we are. We should be live on Rumble. God, I wish they'd sort it out, because, Rumble, you're rubbish at times. Come on, just start, will you? Oh, never mind. We should be live on Twitch, fingers crossed. And yes, we are. We are live on Twitch, right. Is Rumble going to come on? Let's refresh it again, see what happens. Oh, God knows. Hang on, what's about that if I click that? Does that do anything? No. Maybe it'll come on in a bit. We'll see. Right, so later on I will upload it to Spotify, Amazon Music Podcasts and Google Podcasts. Links for all the articles we're going to look at are in the description, and I'll put timestamps in later on. I can't remember if I did it last time. Maybe I did. I can't remember. I don't know if anybody uses them. Let's go check this Rumble again. Is it going to come on? Yay! Yes, we're live on Rumble. It's finally come on. Unbelievable. I'm also on Facebook, X, and Instagram. Links in the description. As I have links to my 2 books, they're down there underneath stuff. Mercury Rapids, a light-hearted sci-fi action adventure about UFOs and stuff, and Silent Predator, short horror novella about big cats eating people in the North Yorkshire village. Just a bit of fun. They're on Amazon Kindle and paperback. Give them a whirl. Right. Let's get on with the news now, shall we? Windgrace is here, by the way, is greasing up to me, saying I've got amazing content. Oh dear, bless him. And so do you. Go and subscribe to Windgrace's channel. He puts some great stuff up. He does on his channel. Right, off we go. Let me just full screen this baby. Right, here we go. It's probably news that you've all heard before. This one's from The Hollywood Reporter, Alex Weprin. George Lucas backs Disney and Bob Iger in proxy fight. Creating magic. I can't do George Lucas. Creating magic is not for amateurs. He said, or did he? Everybody's got a different opinion on this, apparently, on the YouTubes. My personal opinion is not very well. He's getting on a bit. I don't think he really knows, because it can happen quickly. I know through experience. Somebody who's got all the faculties, it can go really quickly. And I think it's like Stanley or Nichelle Nichols when they were getting close to the end of their lives. And they're still successful people in a monetary sense. They get people, helpers, that essentially do everything for them in a professional way, in the professional side of things, not carers as in looking after them. Go away. And I forgot what I was saying now. Thingamabob, carers, not carers, helpers that basically write all their letters for them and basically make decisions for them, act as proxies and all that. So anyway, let's get on with this article. If you don't know what I'm on about, you'll find out in a minute. The filmmaker, Star Wars creator and Disney shareholder released a statement in support of the company and its CEO on Tuesday morning. There he is, obviously in better days. There's a disturbance in the force and George Lucas wants to help correct the problem. The Star Wars and Indiana Jones filmmaker is weighing in on the Walt Disney Company's ongoing proxy fight with activist investors and is throwing his support firmly behind CEO Bob Iger and Disney's board. Remember when, a few months ago, people were saying they were going to back, I forgot his bloody name now, Nelson Peltz and the other fella. George Lucas was going to, put all of his shares behind them. Obviously, that's not happened, has it? Right, this is his statement that he's released. Creating magic, quote, creating magic is not for amateurs. When I sold Lucasfilm just over a decade ago, or when I was the victim of a hostile takeover just over a decade ago, in my opinion, I was delighted to become a Disney shareholder because of my long-time admiration for its iconic brand and Bob Iger's leadership, Lucas said in a statement Tuesday. Or a statement signed by Lucas said on Tuesday. I imagine the signature being like Theoden's signature on the exile warrant thing in Lord of the Rings. Anyway, when Bob recently returned to the company during a difficult time, I was relieved, George goes on to say. No one knows Disney better. I remain a significant shareholder. Apparently, he's the largest individual shareholder in the company. Because I have full faith and confidence in the power of Disney and Bob's track record of driving long-term value, even though like the share price is like going well down, isn't it, apparently. I have voted all of my shares for Disney's 12 directors and urge other shareholders to do the same. Now, I don't think he wrote that. It's one of his solicitors or one of his aides has written that, and they said, look, George, we're doing this, sign it, please. Scribble. He don't know what day it is, probably. Anyway, Lucas is a high-profile name to support Iger and Disney, following similar statements of support from the family of Walt and Roy Disney last month, not to mention the shareholder services firm Glass Lewis, which released its recommendation to support the Disney board. This week, Disney is facing a proxy fight against two activists, the corporate raider Nelson Peltz and Blackwell's Capital. Notably, Peltz has billions of dollars in shares pledged by Ike Perlmutter, who, like Lucas, sold his company Marvel to Disney and became a major shareholder. Perlmutter remained with Disney until being laid off last year. It is not clear how much Disney stock Lucas owns, but when the company acquired Lucasfilm for $4 billion, the deal included about $1.8 billion in stock. Marvel similarly was acquired for about $4 billion. Disney has been aggressively pushing back against the activists, not only outlining a strategic game plan, but framing them as being more self-interested than pro-Disney. They want to make money, don't they? And Disney's not making money, despite Bob Iger releasing his, whatever it is, his statement or his information pack to shareholders that Disney has made $12 billion from, in the last 10 years or whatever, from its acquisitions of like Lucasfilm and Marvel and Pixar and Frozen. Frozen's not an acquisition, but never mind. It says Disney has made $12 billion from those, but it doesn't say how much Disney spent on those, of that $12 billion. They've probably not made a huge amount, to be completely honest, if any, from what the outlay has been. So it's a curious battle. I'm not sure if Nelson Peltz and Ike Perlmutter will win. Yes, and Orville. Yes, they bought that as well, didn't they? Because that came with Fox, didn't it? Because they bought Fox, which they probably still. I wonder if they regret buying Fox, because that were a big thing to buy. Wasn't it? It was something like $70 billion or something, $79 billion or whatever, which makes Marvel and Lucasfilm, small potatoes, doesn't it? But anyway, I wonder how much they're making from Fox now. I don't know. Well, they've made quite a bit. They inherited the success of Avatar too, didn't they? The Way of Water. So anyway. But some people say that Avatar, even though Avatar made like $2 billion, it wasn't that successful because of, what it cost to make the film and the films coming up and all that. Apparently a lot of money's gone into them. But anyway. A sci-fi quest is here. They should look at XP. I don't know what XP is. But then he says bloody phone, so I'm thinking he's meant to type something else. Dear. He's having technological problems recently, his sci-fi quest. He most probably lives in somewhere, in like a portal area. He does, he's near Stonehenge apparently, but maybe it's aliens and UFOs affecting his his equipment. So if he just vanishes, we know he's been abducted. Anyway, back to George Lucas. As I said, I suspect, other people are saying, yeah, George wrote this, is always been a liberal, whatever that got to do with it, I don't know. But a lot of people are trying to play down this white slavers thing that he said a few years ago, after he sold Disney, Lucasfilm to Disney. He said, I've sold it to the white slavers. And tried to play down the fact that he basically hated the Star Wars sequel trilogy. The only things he's liked, I think, what Disney's done, is Rogue One and The Mandalorian. I think they're the only things that have got his official seal of approval. Everything else is like he said, they're films, but it's not my Star Wars anymore. So I don't think he wrote this. I don't think he wrote that. I think Lucasfilm were bought in a hostile takeover. It's odd. I've said this. It's odd that Kathleen Kennedy was put in charge, and then almost instantly, it got sold to Disney. So I think something's happened, and he's being forced out, being forced to sell his own company for whatever reason, and now he's a shell of a man. And his health's failing. Remember that big gala event thing that he were on stage with Steven Spielberg and Kathleen Kennedy, when we were all laughing because Spielberg basically blanked Kathleen Kennedy. And they did the John Williams thing, didn't they, and all that. And basically George, it looked as though he didn't know what day it was. He got looking around wondering what to do, and Kathleen Kennedy and Frank Marshall basically bundled him off stage or led him off stage. So I say he might not be with us much longer, to be completely honest. But you never know. They might shove him in a Bacta tank and he'll be right as rain. Tinfoil Mickey ears. Yes, I've got my tinfoil Mickey ears on. Ha! Anyway, so there we go. So George Lucas is backing Bob Iger. I don't care, to be honest. I don't care who's in charge at Disney, because they're just going to make crap. Whoever's in charge, even if Nelson Pelt's got a seat on the board, it's only one voice, isn't it? Only one voice out of how many's on, 12 or whatever. Anyway, so let's move on. Did it. What am I doing? I don't know. I'm all a dither today. I am. I'm really all a dither. Right, the Acolyte. Right, here we go. I could start yawning in a minute, by the way. I'm shattered. Again. Getting old. Right. This one's from Variety. Joe Otterson. Star Wars series The Acolyte sets Disney Plus premiere date. And there's the logo thing. Its trailer dropped yesterday. Was it yesterday? I think it won't. We'll not watch it. The Star Wars series The Acolyte has set its Disney Plus premiere date. The series will debut on the streaming service on June 4th. A poster for the series has also been revealed, which can be seen below. The series stars Amanda Stenberg, Lee Jung-jae, probably mispronouncing that, Manny Jacinto, probably mispronouncing that, Daphne Keane, Charlie Barnett, Jodie Turner-Smith, yas, patriarchy, yas. Forgot to say that. Rebecca Henderson, Dean Charles Chapman, Jonas Swatamo, he'll be playing a Wookiee, and Carrie-Anne Moss. The official logline states, an investigation into a shocking crime spree pits a respected Jedi Master, Lee, against a dangerous warrior from his past, Stenberg. As more clues emerge, they travel down a dark path, where sinister forces reveal all is not what it seems. The show is known to be set during the High Republic era of the Star Wars timeline, prior to the events of the Star Wars films. It's set about 100 years before the Phantom Menace, isn't it? So they say towards the end of the High Republic era, whatever that means. I don't even know what it means, High Republic era. So what's the era of, the Phantom Menace? The final, I don't know, the Higher Republic? I don't know. Not quite so High Republic, God knows. Leslye Headland created the series and serves as showrunner and executive producer. Kathleen Kennedy, obviously. Simon Emanuel, Jeff F. King. I bet they always call him, hiya, Jeff F. I bet they do. I would. The High Republic is only 100 years prior. For some reason, I thought it was thousands of years before. Yeah. That's the Old Republic, isn't it? That's thousands. Knights of the Old Republic. That's thousands of years before, isn't it? Yes, late stage Republic. God, no. I have no idea. There's probably a thing on the internet somewhere showing the timelines or whatever you want to call it. Galactic calendar or I don't know what they call it. There will be something somewhere that'll tell us. Anyway, Jeff F. King and Jason Micallef, probably mispronouncing that, also executive produced with Charmaine de Gratte and Kor Adana. That sounds like a planet from Star Wars, doesn't it? Set course for Kor Adana. Maximum hyperdrive, whatever. I'm going to say maximum warp, but that's Star Trek, isn't it? As co-executive producers, Rain Roberts and Damien Anderson are producers on the series. Variety exclusively reported The Acolyte was in the works back in 2020. It was officially announced by Lucasfilm at the annual Star Wars Day celebration later that same year, and then people started saying it wasn't going to happen. I was one of them. I was saying I don't think it's going to happen. Because I believed people that I essentially trusted that said it wasn't going to happen and they were just going to make a sizzle reel or basically an extended trailer and they weren't going to get the money to do the whole series. They were wrong, weren't they? And I got blocked by one of them when they made a little bit of a joke about it. Took it the wrong way, anyway. And didn't accept my apology. Sounds like a character from BSG. Kor Adana, yes. Senator Kor Adana from Caprica. Anyway, whatever. The Acolyte is the latest Disney Plus Star Wars show with fellow new series Skeleton Crew. I'd forgotten all about that. Genuinely had. Still awaiting a premiere date. That had completely slipped my mind, Skeleton Crew, with, what's his face, Proper Wooden, Jude Law. The streamer has previously released shows like Obi-Wan Kenobi, which were hilarious, to be completely honest. Andor, which is good, if a bit boring. Ahsoka, which is just... I like the first couple of episodes, or at least the first episode, but it just went silly. And the Book of Boba Fett, which were just poo. Season 2 of Andor recently wrapped filming. Disney Plus is also home to the hit series The Mandalorian. That show has aired 3 seasons to date. First 2 seasons were pretty good. Third season, not so much. But I didn't hate it. It just wasn't as good as the first 2. With the movie set to begin production later this year. This is the poster in it, which has been riffed on mercilessly on like X. In an age of light, a darkness rises, and there's a lightsaber with blood coming out of it. I know it's art, but people have been replacing the lightsaber with a feminine product. And also, somebody's changed that to brown and put a dog there as well. On one of the memes I've seen. And changed that to the bagger shite, which were funny. It's on X somewhere. You can probably find it. Oh, is that it? All right, there we go. And a trailer dropped as well. But we're not. Oh, it's from 2 days ago. This. Oh, I'm telling you, I think the trailer dropped yesterday. I didn't realize this was that old. This article. And Josh Temple's here. Sorry for being late, but better late than never. So never fear. Maddie's here. Harpoon at the ready, I hope. To get these acolytes. But anyway, so if you want to watch the trailer, go on to onto YouTube. Go to Sci-Fi Quest channel. He did a trailer reaction to it. He wasn't impressed. But I didn't think the trailer were rubbish. But it doesn't really tell you much about it, and there's lightsabers in it and stuff like that. Where were we? Windgrace says George Lucas, yes I know, stupid double C, could have used your harpoon earlier. Yes, he could have. Purple saber at the ready. Oh, Electrum lightsaber at the ready. Don't talk to Sci-Fi Quest about purple lightsabers. He's got something against them for some reason. Where were we? Oh, yes, the trailer's on YouTube, so you can watch it there. As I said, I didn't hate it. I'll probably watch it when it arrives on June the 4th. Why not May the 4th? Don't know, but because surely will the Bad Batch have finished by then? I don't know how many episodes they've got left. What we just had 8. There's 6 episodes left. So that's 6 weeks. So yeah, that's time, isn't it? That'll have just finished in time. So is something else going to start on May the 4th, or have they got something else planned for May the 4th? Be with you. But the Acolyte's starting on June the 4th. Anyway. Wingris, I thought the trailer looked okay. I'm really just over Star Wars, to be honest. Yeah, I say it wasn't a bad trailer, but it didn't really tell you a lot. It was more of a teaser than a trailer, wasn't it? But we saw lightsabers and some cool Star Wars kung fu. Maybe it's Terrace Kazi, I don't know. But Carrie-Anne Moss doing what she's learned in The Matrix. See, told you. Mace Windu's lightsaber is pink, told you. He's got something against it for some reason. It's Electrum. Oh dear. Anyway, right, so we'll move on. So that's coming. It'll either be amazing or it'll be rubbish. It'll be in these Marmite shows. Well, unless you're called Steve Johnson, me, and I'll say it's fine. It's 5 out of 10 or whatever, or 6 out of 10. That's what I usually say, don't I? It's decidedly not pink, says Wingrace. Probably in that sort of voice. Maybe a lilac, yes. But the Kyber is purple. Kyber crystal. Not Kyber as in Kyber Pass. That's got a H in it, I think, hasn't it? Anyway. Right, I'm waffling. Right, let's move on. Let's remove that. And what we got next? Oh, aye. Sticking with the Acolyte. We're moving on to bounding into comics now. Spencer Bakuli. Sorry, Spencer. I always think that when I see your name. Spencer says, yes, I was going to say, I presume Spencer's a he. It looks like a he from that image. After Disney decanonized material, the Acolyte showrunner Leslye Headland says upcoming Star Wars series will use EU law. I thought it was so cool, and no one told me I couldn't. Quote, end quote. And there's a shot of Amanda Stenberg with, is that a wig? Or is the hair going to be like that through the whole thing? I don't know. But looking kind of cool in the trailer, I must admit. Not looking like we've seen her in the promotional material, where she's wearing a kind of uniform, a bit like Padme Amidala's, hasn't she? A white thing. Looking decidedly baddie in that one. Abiding by COVID restrictions as well. Remember when Disney decanonized the entirety of Star Wars' expanded universe, labelling under the new title Star Wars Legends, ostensibly in order to let them chart their own era for the franchise and release books that they claim were canon, and then in the movies they ignored what the books had said and changed things. Well, in the wake of all those plans leading to financial and reputational disaster, the Acolyte showrunner, Leslye Headland, yeah, I'm going to pronounce it like that because that's how she spells it, has confirmed that her upcoming... I bet she wasn't born that. I bet in her birth certificate, I bet the EY is the other way around. Has confirmed that her upcoming Disney Plus series will soon be recanonising some pieces of EU law. Using EU sounds like bull to me. Well, they've all used it, haven't they? Even George Lucas used the EU law. Bunter Eve and Coruscant, they came from the expanded universe, didn't they? So, why shouldn't the others? Thrawn came from the EU. Anyway. Star Trek has been using EU in the last couple of shows. They just haven't been acknowledging it. No, they don't, do they? But they don't really in Star Wars either, do they? They just use it. They don't, as far as I know, they don't put a little credit in the end credits saying, such and such character or whatever taken from whatever book by Fred Smith. Of course, they don't care because they just own the material. They own the copyright and all that, so they can do what they want. And, you know, rightness and goodness be damned. Anyway, there she is again, Amanda Stenberg, looking like a baddie. In purple, or as Sci-Fi Quest would say, a pink cloak. Headland, who many may remember, for her time serving as Harvey Weinstein's personal assistant from 2003 to 2007, provided this insight into her upcoming High Republic era series while speaking to StarWars.com on March 19th, following the world premiere of the Acolyte's first trailer. Asked about which parts of the Star Wars universe she had been most excited to engage with, or whatever, Headland recalled, there were certain things that I really wanted to do, in a really deep voice. She got a great deep voice. You'll see a half-Theeling, half-human Jedi, Jekki, played by Daphne Keane, who you may remember from Logan. She played the young girl in Logan. I forgot the name. X-23? I can't remember the name. Which was always a dream of mine, said the showrunner. There's also some EU law that I decided to put in because I thought it was so cool and no one told me I couldn't. Which is fair enough. They use what they want to and mess it up since Disney acquired Lucasfilm. Yes, pretty much. X-23, what a right, crikey. Bummy number. Bet I don't do that again. Remember something accurately. There are a couple of really big EU ideas, as in expanded universe, or is it extended universe, whatever, or European Union. Ideas that are utilised both early on in the series and later in the series, regarding which elements from the original Star Wars EU would make its canon debut in the Acolyte. Headland was light on details, obviously, only noting that among them would be a Zigarian Jedi, otherwise known as the humanoid cat people, seen in Star Wars The Clone Wars 2008, and an as of yet unknown species. Is that Daphne Keane? Oh, no. Jekki, Daphne Keane, censors an approaching Sith in the Acolyte. There she is. Cool. So what's she going to be? A Theeling. Yeah, Theeling. Never heard of him. Right. As noted... hang on. I've always said extended, but I suppose it could be both. Yeah, I've always said extended, but then I saw people saying expanded. So, I don't know. Whatever. As noted above, Disney's turning to revisiting the Star Wars EUs comes off as particularly desperate given Lucasfilm President Kathleen Kennedy's previous attempts to distance the franchise from these materials. Speaking to the studio's approach to the rise of Skywalker's role as the conclusion of the Skywalker saga. Rise of Palpatine's role. I forgot, sorry. Kennedy told Rolling Stone a month before the film's release, there's no source material, we don't have comic books, we don't have 800-page novels, we don't have anything other than passionate storytellers who get together and talk about what the next iteration might be. She should have been fired immediately for that statement, shouldn't she? Unbelievable. And then they show a comic thing there. Quan Yang reaches out to his fellow Jedi practitioners in Star Wars Dawn of the Jedi, Force War, Volume 1, Number 5, 2014, Dark Horse Comics, blah, 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 blah. But that's a new comic, isn't it? You know, that's the new. I remember back in the old days when Marvel were doing Star Wars comics and they were making up new stories and stuff. Expanded universe stories. When they finished with the first film before Empire Strikes Back came along, they were doing new Star Wars stories. Ones with like pirates using Star Destroyers and stuff like that, and that silly bloody rabbit creature whose name I can't remember. But anyway. But that's going back to the 70s, isn't it? Yes, that's the fella, Jackson, yes. Which sounds like a petrol company, doesn't it? An oil firm, Jackson. Put a Jackson in your tank. Anyway, we go through a really normal development process that everybody else does, she added. You start by talking to filmmakers who you think exhibit the sensibilities that you're looking for, and then you fire them. Because that's what she generally does, doesn't she? And I would argue that the list is very small. People who really do have the sensibilities about these kind of movies. Well, you haven't got the sensibility, Kathleen, so, why are you talking to them? Because you know nothing about Star Wars. You'd probably say, why can't Luke get the dog instead of the Force? She'd say something like that. How's your coffee, Stephen? She'd say, not to me, it's Steven Spielberg, who's got nothing to do with Star Wars, and he's probably thinking that he dodged a bullet there, didn't he? Marvel Comics uses Roxxon as their evil petrol company, does it? All right. So he told you. So, says Sci-Fi Quest, at what point didn't the Sith go extinct? Wasn't it a millennium before Phantom Menace? Mace! Yeah. Well, they've obviously always been around, haven't they? Just staying in the shadows. But, yeah, I don't know. I don't understand all this rule of two stuff. I know, but it sounds a bit silly to me, but never mind. Where were we? People who really do have the sensibilities about these kinds of movies, and then the experience and the ability to handle how enormous a job these movies are. So we try to be as thoughtful as we possibly can about making those choices. I would also argue that sometimes people get involved in the normal development process, and then they realise, oh my God, this is so much more than I ever imagined, and I fire them. That's what she does. 2x2 Hands of Blue. Okay. So it's pretty common that when you're working on movies, you're not making choices. I know it's I know it's a reference, but it's eluding me. And anyway, so it's pretty common that when you're working on movies, you're not making choices and decisions that necessarily work out exactly the way you want from the get-go. The Lucasfilm president further detailed. It's been an evolving process with lots of people. Because she keeps firing them and hiring new ones, and lots of opinions, some of them that don't match her opinions, so she fires them. And then you try to shape something into what it eventually becomes. I feel fortunate that I've worked with so many great people and fired them that have been absolutely committed. JJ being one of them. He's a huge fan, incredibly passionate about Star Wars. No, he's passionate about making money. He's like, I forgot his name now. The fellow that has the Krusty Krab in SpongeBob, because he likes money, doesn't he? A Serenity quote. The fellas with the fellas with the blue gloves on. Yes, yeah, Firefly. Yes, I know what you mean now. Yes. The fellas in the black suits and the blue gloves, yes, the bad guys, the men in black. We didn't really get a resolution, did we, about them? It's two there are, a master and an apprentice. Do they only have one in Acolyte, according to the trailer? I don't know. There can be only two. I don't know. Are they Sith, or are they just dark side Force users? I don't bloody know. I suppose we'll have to wait and see, won't we? Where were we? Oh, wow, going about JJ, one I've been an idiot. He's a competent filmmaker. I'll give him that. He can put a film together, but just don't write them, JJ. And has been from the moment he and I sat down and started talking about this. The more he got involved, the more excited he became, and more comic art. Go away. Is it Critical Drinker? Go away now. Excuse me. Drawing her thoughts to a close, Kathleen Kennedy ultimately affirmed, so I think if you asked him today, he probably wishes he'd been in a situation where he could have done all three. But as I said, these are huge projects, so it's very difficult unless there's 3 or 4 years in between. It's not really physically possible. What? What's she talking about? And what's not really physically possible? I don't know, but anyway. And all this after they went through all of that trouble of rewriting Kyle Katarn and Jan's Oz story for Cassian Andor and Jyn Erso in Rogue One. Yeah, pretty much. But I like Rogue One, so that's fine. At current, the Acolyte is set to start telling the tale of the Jedi Order's fall from grace on June 24th. June 4th, isn't it? That was June 4th, not 24th. Oh, that's Kyle Katarn, isn't it? That's it. Right, we're done. That's it. We're done. It's just Kathleen Kennedy. I don't know how she's staying in that job because she's horrible. She's a horrible person, and her skin looks as though if she gets a little nick, it'll all just unravel. Her skin's that tight on her face. She's like a bloody thingy from Star Trek. Sonar. She's a Sonar, where she's been in the skin stretching machine. That's what she is. Anyway, speaking of stretching skin and stuff like that, I don't know why. It's got nothing to do with it, but I forgot to mention, if you look down, there's a little dollar sign somewhere underneath the video or whatever, or in the chat, and you can drop me a super chat, a chupa chat, whatever, a super chat to help keep the lights on. It'd be greatly appreciated, and all that jazz. I don't have memberships yet, because I don't know what to do with memberships just yet. This is why I haven't got a Patreon at the moment. I've got a Patreon page, and you can follow the link. I don't know what it'll show you. But as I say, I'm stuck at what to do in terms of extras for people. Anyway, so there we go. Right, so got that out of the way. Got the grift out of the way. Where were we? Sci-Fi Quest says they should release the first 2 episodes on May the 4th be with you. Yes, I said that earlier on. Yes, I don't know why they do it on June 4th. It is June 4th, isn't it? So let me double check. They've said 24th. I'm sure it said June 4th in the previous article. Let me double check. Yes, June 4th. Yes, I thought so. I don't have time to do extras, so I've not made a membership yet. No, I ain't either. That's what I don't know. I wouldn't know what to do. I suppose you can just make things, members only after a certain time or whatever. I don't know. But I just don't like taking people's money. Unless it's in the form of a super chat, which is fine. Right, so where were we? The Acolytes using EU law. So we're going to be seeing some characters. We're going to see Yoda, aren't we? That's a given, isn't it? Yoda's going to pop up at some point. And maybe Yaddle. I wonder if we'll see Yaddle as well. Yoda and Yaddle skipping down the street, hand in hand, as young lovebirds, getting ready to conceive Grogu in a few years, because they do things slowly. Right, and who else could pop up? Chewbacca, he could pop up, because he's around, isn't he? He's 200 years old, isn't he? Is that an Earth year, though? I know they're in a galaxy far, far away drinking game. So what is the length of a year in the Star Wars universe? I'm guessing it's the same for us. Does it matter? I don't know. So I bet we could see Chewbacca. I mean, if Jonas Suatomo's in it, there is a Wookiee in the trailer, but I don't think that's Chewbacca. How long do the Hutts live? I have no idea. So I'll look it up. Hutt lifespan. I'll start seeing adverts for sheds and stuff now. Hutts could live over 1,000 years and were considered one of the longest lived species in the galaxy. So there we go. So we could see Jabba or the others, or one of the others. We might see Maz Kanata. She's around as well, isn't she? The Hutts probably live as long as there is food. Okay. Yeah, so 1,000 years they can live up to, apparently. Right, so we'll move on. What's next? I've got to full screen that, didn't I, by the way? Oh, aye, James Bond next. Everybody knows about this as well. But before we get to there, slightly younger Jabba wearing a fedora. Oh dear. Slithering around, slightly, slimmer, like he was in A New Hope. The special edition, which I don't class as canon. This time I needed a double letter. Yes, you did, and you missed it out. It's a Jabe. Younger Jabe. Anyway. Right, so. Oh, crikey, get the number. Right, off we go. Next one is from Deadline. Here we go. Deadline. Jake Cantor. James Bond speculation goes viral. Everybody knows about this, don't they? But producer Eon Productions keeps silent. Everything or nothing, by the way, Eon stands for. Which were Cubby Broccoli and Harry Saltzman's raison d'etre in the early days. So they called the studio that. And there's Daniel Craig looking like a goblin. Right, as far as the next James Bond is concerned, it seems the name's Taylor Johnson, Aaron Taylor Johnson. No relation, as far as I know. Or at least that's what British tabloid The Sun, hateful rag, would have us believe. The newspaper, I use that term loosely with regard to The Sun, has sparked viral speculation that the Kick-Ass star is just moments away from signing a deal to play one of cinema's most iconic characters. By the way, I've said for a while that Aaron Taylor Johnson would be a good James Bond, as well as Henry Cavill. But, if he is the new Bond, cool. Pardon me, because I like Aaron Taylor Johnson. I think he's a good actor. And a good action star as well. Oh, excuse me. Sorry. Right, here we go. Sci-Fi Quest says, The Sun only ever bought that rag for page 3. Pretty much. Anyway, right. I forgot where I was now. In a report featured on its front page, The Sun said Taylor Johnson has been formally offered the job and is going to sign his contract in the coming days. James Bond producer Eon Productions declined to comment on the report, but that is not unusual for the company helmed by Barbara Broccoli and Michael G. Wilson, her stepbrother. As a source at Eon sagely pointed out to Deadline, if it spent its days reacting to reports about who is replacing Daniel Craig as 007, it would have time for little else. I wonder what they're going to do, though. Because spoilers, in No Time to Die, he dies. Spoilers. So I wonder what they're going to do. We're going to have another reboot, another young Bond starting out as a 00, or we're just going to throw us in mid-mission with an experienced James Bond, like it should have been originally. But anyway, I don't know. Wingrace says it was good in that train movie. Yes, it was Bullet Train. Yes, some people are only happy because of Bullet Train. But yes, he was good in that. But I've liked him in everything I've seen him. I liked him in Godzilla. I thought we're fine in that, playing that soldier. Had a decent American accent as well. Not that he'll need it for this, but I thought the Craig universe was an alternate universe take. Well, it was, wasn't it? It was like an entire Bond lifespan done in how many movies? 4 movies? Was it 4 or 5 movies? Casino Royale, Quantum of Solace, Skyfall, Spectre. No Time 5. Done in 5 films, wasn't it? From him first getting his 00 status to his death at the end. So it was like its own universe, wasn't it? Not connected to the outside law. So I wonder if we're going to go back into that. Is it going to be, what he married to Emma Peel, Diana Rigg, what he married to her in the continuing timeline? I don't know. Craig movies were pre-Doctor No, technically. Well, no, they can't have been because he died in the last one. But they were separate. They were separate to the Fleming universe. Where were we? This person, back to the article, this person steered us away from the Sun story this morning, but did not outright deny the report, which is among the top trends on X, formerly Twitter, in the US and UK. No, it's US gets abbreviation things, but UK doesn't. Weird. But what can we say? But what we can say with certainty is that Taylor Johnson did little to disassociate himself from Bond speculation as recently as last week. I find it charming and wonderful that people see me in that role. I take it as a great compliment, he told Fashion Magazine, probably speaking like that, Numero, in an interview. Wingrace says, I think of them like the Cushing Who's. Yes. They were separate, weren't they? James Bond will be an Alias from now on. Alias was a good show, in my opinion. I never saw it. That's a J.J. Abrams one, isn't it? I think. I never saw it. No, it'll be James Bond, but it'll be a new continuity. That's what it'll be. Anyway, where were we? We also know that Broccoli claimed, in my opinion, I think it'll be a new continuity. They probably won't even mention he died. It'll just be a new continuity, either a new start or just James Bond in the middle of his whatever he's doing. They won't even mention the Daniel Craig stuff, probably. But and we'll see. We don't know. Right. We also know that Broccoli claimed just weeks ago that there was nothing to report. There's nothing I can tell you about the next Bond film, she told our Baz Bamig boy in February. There's nothing is happening yet. Baz Bamig boy used to be the BBC entertainment correspondent, didn't he? Now he's working for Deadline. Mounting speculation over a new Bond does fit with Broccoli's timeline for the film, however. The producer told Baz in June 2022 that No Time to Die's follow-up was a couple of years away. So it won't be a follow-up, it'll just be the next James Bond film. Across the Bondiverse, yes, essentially, yeah. Right. She added, there isn't a script and we can't come up with one until we decide how we're going to approach the next film, because really it's a reinvention of Bond. We're reinventing who he is and that takes time. I'd say that filming is at least 2 years away. That milestone, I reckon James Bond from now on is going to be more about cyber spying and stuff like that. Be more futuristic, I think. I think it'll move away. It'll still have its action stuff, like Mission Impossible and all that, but I think it'll be more, like AIs and stuff. A bit like Mission Impossible. I think it'll just be like Mission Impossible, to be honest, because the Daniel Craig Bonds were basically just like Jason Bourne films, weren't they? But so I think the new ones will just be like the new Mission Impossible films. Probably. Where were we? That milestone is fast approaching, 2 years. And so the whispers grow louder. Only this month, the Sun journalist who reported that Taylor Johnson will be Bond wrote that Cillian Murphy was in the running to play the British spy. Can't see Cillian Murphy as James Bond. He's a good actor, but not as James Bond. As a Bond baddie, yeah, 100%. Get him in there. Other actors featured in the 007 speculation cycle include Happy Valley star James Norton, don't know him, and Snowfall's Damson Idris, don't know him. Tom Hardy, he'd be a good Bond, but I don't know. Idris Elba, no, and Henry, I like Idris Elba, but not James Bond. And Henry Cavill have also been heavily linked. The Bond rumour mill has been shaken, but Eon Productions has not yet stirred. So there we go. Is that it? Yes, that was it. So I hope it is. I hope it is him. And I hope he can, now he'll sign it and they can get on with doing the film. So I want to know what's going to happen next. Wingrace says, at a certain point, they'll go back and do more campy retro Bonds. We'll see. I hope they do, because I like when he's got his gadgets and stuff. He won't be sleeping around, though. That's not allowed anymore, is it? And he'll have some woman telling him what to do, They'll be cooking him, Cucking, him, to a certain degree, in my opinion. But anyway, so there we go. So hopefully, I've got a picture of him, have they? I put one on the thumbnail. You can look back at the thumbnail. That's Aaron Taylor-Johnson with his abs out. And then he comments, please not Nolan. Whatever. BBC has supposedly debunked it after speaking to someone at Eon, who said there's no truth to the rumours. Well, they would say that, wouldn't they? Good choice. Nothing to report. Blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah. Right, fair enough. Fair enough. I bet there's an announcement in the next couple of months. I bet there is. And they'll do like they did with Daniel Craig. They'll have him coming down the Thames in a boat with a bloody life jacket on. And show him off to the world. That's what they'll do. Make another Johnny English. I've only seen... Is there two of those films now? I think I've only seen the first one. Good old Rowan Atkinson, who was in a James Bond film, but not an official one. He was in Never Say Never Again. But anyway. Right, let's move on. I hope it is Aaron Taylor-Johnson, because I like him. Right, Doctor Who next. Speaking of Peter Cushing... This is from Den of Geek, Louisa Meller. Stephen Moffat's new Doctor Who episode to bring Hitchcock-style suspense. Moffat's making an explosive Series 14 return. And he's got purple hair in that light. I think it's just the light. There are three Johnny English films. I've only seen the first one. And I liked it, so I don't know why I haven't seen the others. Right, sit down for this one. In shock news that stunned the nation, caused a window cleaner to fall off his ladder and sent flocks of pigeons flying out of church towers, a Doctor Who writer is confirmed to have written an episode of Doctor Who. Okay, very funny. Despite denying it at every turn for months, Stephen Moffat has finally confirmed his much rumoured return to Doctor Who. The former showrunner in the 11th and 12th Doctor eras, whose previous episode was 2017's Twice Upon a Time, has indeed written an episode of the soon-to-air Series 14. Did I do a story last week where they said they were going to do the Christmas one? I think I did, didn't I? Oh, pardon me. While the title of Moffat's new episode is still under wraps, it's very likely to be episode 3. Oh, excuse me, sorry, I'm very gassy, as usual. AKA the episode long rumoured to have been written by Stephen Moffat. If so, we can expect to see it on BBC iPlayer just after midnight on May 18th in the UK, 7 p.m. Eastern, May 17th in the US, and around the world on Disney+. Moffat's new Doctor Who script has been directed by Series 14 premiere director Julie Ann Robinson, Bridgerton, Orange is the New Black scandal, and will be the second of Robinson's eps for the new run. Yes, the Christmas thing was debunked. All right, fair enough. Story-wise, episode 3 is rumoured but unconfirmed to be a Doctor Light adventure. Much like Blink. That was a Doctor Light adventure, wasn't it? That involves 15 spending much of the episode with, as glimpsed in the new series trailer, 1 foot on an active landmine. Fan rumours also suggest that the setting will be a futuristic war zone, perhaps with landmines, perhaps involving the return of the Time of Angels, speaking of Blink, Flesh and Stone's church soldiers, the clerics. Asked to sum up the tone of his new episode in a single word by its director, Moffat told Robinson, Hitchcock. Expect suspense and tension then, and possibly a traumatised blonde. Some rope, some notoriety, James Stewart, a shower scene, a bell tower, maybe a bit of vertigo, maybe them bloody faces, Mount Rushmore, Kim Novak, and a flock of murderous crows. And a fella going, lovely, as he strangles somebody, lovely. Remember that film? I I can't remember what it was called now. No, never mind. In a preview of Series 14, written by Russell T Davies as part of his regular Letter from the Showrunner column in Doctor Who magazine 600, Russell T Davies described Series 14, Episode 3, as gorgeous. And I bet, when he were typing it or whatever, I bet he actually went, gorgeous! Bloody hate him. Davies praised the episode's emotion, depth and performances and called the whole thing beautiful. That sounds like something worth getting excited about. Well, he would say that, wouldn't he? He wouldn't say it's shit, would he? For Christ's sake. Moffat's statement on his Doctor Who return gives little away about the episode itself, but does acknowledge the somewhat baffling level of subterfuge that surrounded it. Yes, okay, I won't do the giddiness of him. Yes, okay, fair enough. Apologies to everyone. I very slightly misled, or mizzled, misled, as I'm in fact writing an episode of the series of Doctor Who. Exactly like I said I never would. So it's Moffat that's saying this, not Russell T Davies. What can I tell you? There was begging, there was pleading, but finally Russell agreed to let me have another go. Do you mean it was the other way around? It was Russell begging you to come back. So long as I got out of his garden. Working with old friends and a brand new doctor, I couldn't be happier. Sorry I was a bit reticent on the subject for so long. It was all part of an elaborate plan that would have delighted millions, but... Bit of a big head, hasn't he? But at the last minute, I forgot what it was. Doctor Who Series 14, or Season 1, starts on Saturday, May 11th in the UK on BBC iPlayer and BBC One, and on Friday, May 10th in the US and around the world on Disney+. So there we go. So Stephen Moffat's writing Episode 3, apparently. And it's like Hitchcock. I bet it isn't. I bet it isn't. Right. So there we go. Fascinating. We'll move on. I'm looking forward to it anyway. Oh, I forgot about this one. This one's from Variety. Matt Donnelly. Popeye, the Sailor Man live-action film in development from Chernin, King Features, exclusive. And there's Popeye. I saw the Robin Williams one once, and I hated it. I've never seen it since. But some people have told me it's got better over the years. It's matured or something, or whatever. I don't know. I saw it once when it first came out. Well, not when it first came out, because I didn't see it. I didn't go to the pictures to see it. I think I got it rented it on video, and thought it were crap, to be completely honest. Right, okay, off we go. Popeye is... I went all posh then, didn't it? Okay. Popeye is coasting back to the big screen. The iconic Sailor Man and Spinach Chugger, who first appeared in comic strips in the late 1920s, will be the subject of a new live-action feature film from Chernin Entertainment and King Features. The project is currently in development as a big-budget feature, and has attached screenwriter Michael Caleo. Sexy Beast. I've seen part of that, and I meant to watch it all the way through. I think I caught like the end of it once when it were on telly. And it were really good. Anyway, The Family and The Sopranos. This is the first live-action revisiting of the character since the 1980 film Popeye, led by Robin Williams. Proofreading. #proofreading thing of the past. Robin Williams. Directed by Robert Altman and co-starring Shelley Duvall, who were like born to play Olive Oil, wasn't she? As the sailor's quirky love interest, Olive Oil. The film was panned upon release, but has since gained cult status and critical reconsideration. There you go. It was also profitable, released by Paramount Pictures at a $20 million budget before grossing roughly $60 million worldwide. Popeye celebrated his 95th anniversary this year after appearing in the 1929 comic Thimble Theatre. The character spawned both animated features and series in his heyday and could be one of the earliest templates for mass merchandising across multiple generations. I used to love the Popeye cartoons when I was a kid, but I don't know. I'll have to look on YouTube and watch one and see if it still entertains me as much. I suspect it might not. Anyway, 2 years ago, Popeye was named a key inspiration for menswear collections from Moschino, Supreme, and A Bathing Ape. Popeye is still the face of McCall Farm spinach. In the cartoons, the vegetable offers the sailor superpowers to defeat his enemies, which carries the Popeye logo and face on canned goods. Yes, he used to eat spinach, and his muscles got big, didn't they? And he used to have, like, turbines in his muscles and stuff like that. Some devout fans, which Popeye still has, crafted a series of self-made movie trailers this year, all fictional, which have racked up millions of views combined. These trailers imagine the character as a castaway warrior with Dwayne Johnson proportions, which may well be the direction this is headed creatively. It's not going to be The Rock, is it, as Popeye? For God's sake. It's got to look normal, hasn't it? And, you know, just be big forearms for some reason. Not like Dwayne Johnson. Anyway, producers are in the process of attaching a studio partner. Any comments? Because that turned out so well last time, yeah. They'll ruin it as expected. I am what I am, said Popeye and God. Yes, they both said that, didn't they? I'm not interested, says somebody else. No, we'll see. God damn it, just found out they dropped an Alien Romulus teaser earlier while I was sleeping. Another reaction video to come for that. Yes, we're going to look at it at the end of this news thing. It's the last thing. We're going to watch the Alien Romulus teaser. It's there, honest. I'm not lying. I'll show you. I'll go out of full screen and I'll show you. There we go. There we go. We're going to watch that later. Right. And it looks okay. I have watched it, so it's not technically not a reaction. But anyway, back to Popeye. Right, so I don't know what to think. I didn't like the one with Robin Williams. I didn't like that. But I did love the cartoons, but this is not a cartoon, it's a live action. And if it's The Rock as Popeye, will he be doing a Popeye impression? Probably left that on, haven't I? Will he be doing a Popeye impression? Will he be and all that? Will he be giving it? Oh, God, I hope not. Oh, dear. Let's move on. Let's move on. What's next? Star Trek next. With rubbish Star Trek first. Join the crew. This is from StarTrek.com. By StarTrek.com staff. Written by AI, probably. Join the crew of the U.S.S. Discovery on their final adventure. The highly anticipated final season arrives on April 4th in the US and on April 5th on Sky Showtime's international markets. On Paramount Plus, you mean? And they're probably crying. The Rock refuses to play anyone but himself. Pretty much, yeah, pretty much. Right, the fifth and final season of Star Trek Discovery is readying for its last dance. The hit original series... I think StarTrek.com is kind of over-egging the pudding there a little bit. I don't think Star Trek Discovery has ever been a hit. It certainly wasn't a hit when they broadcast it over terrestrial TV, didn't they? But anyway, never mind. The hit original series will premiere on Thursday, April 4th, exclusively on the service in the US, the UK, Switzerland, South Korea, Latin America, Germany, France, Italy, Australia, and Austria. It will also premiere on April 4th on Paramount Plus in Canada. Why does Canada get its own sentence? The first 2 episodes of the series' 10-episode final season will be available to stream at launch, with new episodes dropping weekly on Thursdays. In addition, Season 5 of Star Trek Discovery will be available to stream April 5th on Sky Showtime. I don't even know what that is. Seasons 1 to 3 arrived on the service on March 8th, with Season 4 arriving this week on March 22nd, ahead of the final season's launch. Take a look at the official trailer for Season 5, as well as some first-look images for the upcoming season below. We'll not look at it. South Africa says, I made you drop out and film that before you start on Romulus. Fair enough. It's not a long teaser. Only a minute. But anyway, cool. There's the trailer if you want to, watch the trailer. But we'll look at some pictures. There they're looking at each other with dandruff falling around them. That's obviously Saru, played by the great Doug Jones. Does he work on staying thin, I wonder? Does he watch what he eats, or is he just naturally really thin? I want to see him put some weight on. And I forgot that bloody name now. As Michael Burnham, a name's gone blanked. There's that other one, that non-binary character that was, because it's the 31st century or whatever. They were reminding everybody about their pronouns. Unbelievable. God. What are you just showing people for? Show us some cool stuff. Oh, there's the not very diverse action shot. There's another gay person. Another gay person. A married woman with kids who says she is... this is non-binary, or this is she's gender fluid or something. She said something weird, didn't she? She's made herself part of the LGBTQIA whatever community now, hasn't she? Even though she's married to a man with a kid. And she's had a kid, anyway. Doug Jones as Popeye. Yeah, why not? Is it 32nd century? I can't bloody remember. I don't even care, because you wouldn't know it was the 32nd century, apart from the programmable matter. That's the only thing, really, isn't it, that makes it look futuristic. And there she is, look, on the bloody Mad Max motorbike thing, whatever. She thinks she's Picard in Star Trek Nemesis. Oh, more words, look. Right, this season finds Captain Burnham and the crew of the U.S.S. Discovery uncovering a mystery that will send them on an epic adventure across the galaxy to find an ancient power whose very existence has been deliberately hidden for centuries. Right. But there are others on the hunt as well. Dangerous foes who are desperate to claim the prize for themselves and will stop at nothing to get it. So they'll find something and she'll say, oh, this is, I forgot the bloody name now. Them that did the portals, Windgrace, help me out. I forgot what they call them. It'll be that technology, and everybody will be saying, what's that? I've no idea what that is, because, deliberately hidden for centuries. But obviously with the Discovery coming from centuries in the past, they know about them, don't they? Iconians. She'll say, oh, it's Iconian technology. They say, what's that? And, it's obviously, that's why Captain Burnham was put in charge of seeking out whatever she's to find out. Yes, Iconians, because they're icons, yes. Star Trek Discovery Season 5 cast members include Sonequa Martin Green, that's the one, Captain Michael Burnham, still don't know why she's called Michael. Doug Jones, Saru, Anthony Rapp, Paul Stamets, Mary Wiseman, Sylvia Tilley, Wilson Cruz, Dr. Hugh Culber, David Ayala, Cleveland Booker. We're ever going to find out what's happening with his cat? Don't know. Blue Del Barrio Adira, Callum Keith Rennie as Rayner. Oh, well, apparently we're supposed to know what race he is now. I saw it somewhere and I forgot to look it up. What race, is an alien, isn't he? But not Romulan, apparently. Anyway, Season 5 also features recurring guest stars Elias Tefexis, Lack, whatever, and Eve Harlow as Moll. And if you go to Windgrace's channel, he's got a video about his theory about Laak's true identity. Go and watch that video for some... he's a random race from DS9. Is it right? I don't know. I saw it somewhere and I forgot to click on it. I think I saw it on Facebook or X or whatever, and I forgot to look it up. Right. We haven't done yet. Star Trek Discovery seasons 1 through 4 are currently streaming. Blah 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 blah. We're not going to watch them again. I'd watch season 1 again, to be honest, but not the others. Not the others. Right, so there we go. So it's starting, what I forgot, April 4th and April 5th in other places. It'll be April 5th for us, won't it, in the UK? It says April 4th in the UK as well. Maybe it's the same, I don't know, we'll see. Not long to go anyway, in a couple of weeks. If that, what date are we on now? 20th, aren't we? So, how many days is in March? 31, isn't there? So, yeah, a couple of weeks off. He's a random rate. I'm going to have to look it up now. Rainer Discovery. Right, let's have a look. Right, he's Kelleran. He's Captain Rainer, which is a minor planet mentioned in one of the other Star Trek iterations. We learn more about his personal backstory and how that he plays into who he is and why he is how he is. We learn about that as the season goes, and the planet he's from has a lot to do with that. Right, so he's Kelleran. Because he's got big ears, like Vulcan-y type ears. There he is. Oh, you can't see it, can you? Hang on. I'll drag it over. Hang on, let me remove that. I'm trying to be professional here. And failing miserably. There we go. Right. See, and he's back now. Done. Oh, Kelleran. There we go. There he is, Kelleran. A Kelleran in Armageddon game. So that's what, as Windgrace said from Deep Space Nine, and there he is, another one, with his Vulcan ears that have been cut. They take some scissors to a pair of Vulcan ears, haven't they? Basically, sort of. But they've got slightly different lobes. But haven't we all? From the episode, they pretend to kill Bashir and O'Brien. I've just started rewatching Deep Space Nine. I'm still on season 1. I'm on the episode Dax, where Dax is accused of murder. I'm on that one. While they are disarming their bioweapons. I've seen it, because I've seen I've seen every episode of Star Trek, but you know what I'm like in memory. Like an old fart, that's what I am. Anyway, so there we go. Hang on. Let's go back to this to the article. Were there any more? Hang on. Was there any? No, I've done, haven't we? No, we're done with that now. So we'll move on to more Star Trek news. This time from Screen Rant. Hang on. I'm all over the place, I am. This was from Screen Rant. John Orquiola, another Star Trek sounding name to me, but anyway. William Shatner admits I failed horribly directing Star Trek 5, which if you go to Sci-Fi Quest channel, we watched, was it last week? I think it was last week, wasn't it? We watched Star Trek 5 on the Sci-Fi Quest channel, and I really like it. William Shatner shoulders the blame for the mistakes and failures of Star Trek V: The Final Frontier as the director of the 1989 movie. William Shatner shoulders the blame for Star Trek V: The Final Frontier's failure as the director, who also came up with the central story of the U.S.S. Enterprise crew meeting God. God. It's a good story. It's a Star Trek story. It's Star Trek V. But it does have its issues. but it's a fun film. I like Star Trek 5. Star Trek 5 was the lone Star Trek movie, oh, excuse me, directed by Shatner, who was following up his friend Leonard Nimoy's back-to-back successors as director of Star Trek 3, The Search for Spock, and Star Trek 4, The Voyage Home. Unfortunately, the reviews and box office of Star Trek 5 were disastrous, and Shatner's film nearly sank the Star Trek movie franchise. It's a good film. Speaking to The Hollywood Reporter about his new autobiographical documentary, William Shatner, You Can Call Me Bill, the 92-year-old Shatner reflected on his inexperience as a feature film director and the mistakes he made with Star Trek V, The Final Frontier, admitting, I failed, with a, ellipsis. I failed. In my mind, I failed horribly. Read his quotes below. Right. Quote, well, I'm not doing an impression of him because I can't. I wish that I'd had the backing and the courage to do the things I felt I needed to do. Rock monsters, for instance. My concept was Star Trek goes in search of God, and management said, well, who's God? We'll alienate the non-believer, so no, we can't do God. And then somebody said, what about an alien who thinks they're God? Which has been done many times in Star Trek. Or a God. And then it was a series of my inabilities to deal with the management and the budget. I failed. In my mind, I failed horribly. When I'm asked, what do you regret the most? I regret not being equipped emotionally to deal with a large motion picture. So in the absence of my power, the power vacuum filled with people that didn't make the decisions I would have made. It is on me. In the finale, here we go, I wanted granite rock creatures to explode out of the mountain. The special effects guy said, I can build you a suit that's on fire and smoke comes out. I said, great, how much will that cost? They said, $250,000 a suit. Can you make 10 suits? He said, yeah, that's $2.5 million. You've got a $30 million budget. You sure you want to spend it on that? Those are the practical decisions. Well, wait a minute, what about one suit? And I'll photograph it everywhere to look like 10. So there we go. William Shatner's plan to use a rock monster in Star Trek 5 unfortunately failed. Yes, unfortunately. But I think there is behind-the-scenes footage or whatever, deleted scenes or whatever, of the aforementioned rock monsters. I always think that when it said rock monsters, I always think of rock lobster for some reason. The B-52s. Anyway, go climb a rock. William Shatner began Star Trek V, The Final Frontier, with the best of intentions to make a Star Trek movie that questioned the profound and ineffable. Unfortunately, Shatner's central story of Captain Kirk and the U.S.S. Enterprise crew meeting God was fatally flawed, a fact that producer Howard Bennett and Leonard Nimoy tried to convince Shatner of. The compromise of an alien who pretended to be God, played by George Murdoch, also took the wind out of Star Trek V's sails, which doomed the climax of the movie. I don't mind it. I don't know why people... Of course, it's not going to actually meet God, is it? It's not supernatural, is it? It's Star Trek. So it's not going to actually meet God. It is going to be an alien with godlike powers, such as Q, for instance, or the Squire of Goth Trelane, somebody like that. Or Apollo in Who Mourns for Adonais. But anyway, whatever. But they said they weren't gods, though. They're just godlike. Note, as William Shatner noted above, Star Trek V had issues with its budget, which required the director's ambitious plans to be slashed. Yeah, I said they didn't get ILM to do the effects, which I think is going to be mentioned here. Right. Another big problem was Star Trek V's visual effects. The best effects house in Hollywood, Industrial Light and Magic, ILM, wasn't available, and the VFX company Shatner hired produced mediocre results. Star Trek V was not only released in the crowded blockbuster of 1989 with Tim Burton's Batman, hashtag proofreading, thing of the past, Tim Burton's Batman and Lethal Weapon 2, Ghostbusters 2 and more ruling the box office, but Shatner's movie also competed with Star Trek The Next Generation in syndication for Trekkers' attention. Star Trek V, The Final Frontier, I'm sure everybody that's into Star Trek Next Gen went to see Star Trek V at the cinema. I'm sure they did. Star Trek V, The Final Frontier was a noble effort by director William Shatner, but critical and box office success was just not to be. Oh, there we go. That's it. It's a good film. I like Star Trek V. Give it a whirl. And it's got my favourite scene in all of Star Trek, the campfire scene and row, 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 row your boat and all that. It's great. And it's got some... It's the best film about the triumvirate, the trio of Kirk, Spock and Bones. It's the best film about their friendship, in my opinion. In my opinion. So there we go. Right, let's move on. Let's move on. What's next? Oh, it's the Sydney Sweeney story you've all been waiting for. Which was just my excuse to put Sydney Sweeney in the thumbnail. This was from Variety, but for some reason I'm watching it on Microsoft Start. I don't know why I just didn't find it on Variety. Let me see if I find the Variety article. Oh, never mind. It's all there. Right, Sydney Sweeney says Madame Web was a business decision that set up relationships at Sony because I did that. I got Anyone But You sold, which I think is a film she did, isn't it? There she is as, I've not seen Madame Web, so I don't know. Sydney Sweeney said in a recent interview with Gentleman's Quarterly, UK, that starring in Sony's Madame Web was a strategic business decision that more or less paid off, despite the film being one of the year's most infamous box office flops. In Sweeney's eyes, Madame Web got her in the door at Sony Pictures, and that's where she was able to have a massive box office success with the romantic comedy Anyone But You. Was it? Okay, fair enough. To me, that film was... Because I've obviously not seen that either. To me, that film... I've never seen Sydney Sweeney in anything. Apart from that thing that's on YouTube where she's doing the Hooters skit. Was it Saturday Night Live? That one. I don't know what it were on. That's all I've seen her in. To me, that film was a building block. It's what allowed me to build a relationship with Sony, Sweeney told the publication. Without doing Madame Web, I wouldn't have a relationship with the decision makers over there. I haven't put it on, have I? I tell you. You don't bloody tell me, do you? People aren't watching. Let's make this writing bigger. Right, to me that film was a building block. It's what allowed me to build a relationship with Sony, Sweeney told the publication. Without doing Madame Web, I wouldn't have a relationship with the decision makers over there. Everything in my career I do not just for that story, but strategic business decisions. Because I did that, I was able to sell Anyone But You. I was able to get Barbarella. Is she being Barbarella? I'm definitely going to see that. By the way, speaking of Barbarella, hang on a minute. See her somewhere. There it is. I recently got Barbarella on Blu-ray, the original one with Jane Fonda, Hanoi Jane. But, I might see Sydney Sweeney as Barbarella. They won't be doing the undressing, the weightless undressing, will they? But you never know. Madame Web was widely panned by film critics earlier this year, and it flopped at the box office, where it still hasn't crossed the $100 million mark worldwide. So we have a look, see what it's up to. Box office. What's it up to? Box Office Mojo. Is that? I don't know. Where are we? What's the total? Where is it? Oh, it's there. 97 million it's up to so far. 97.5, just coming up to 97.5 million worldwide. That's off a budget of, I think, about 90 million, I think, something like that. I could be wrong. It doesn't say what the budget is, never mind. So there we go. She can rella my barb. Ooh. Sounds painful. Oh, pardon me, sorry, I'm burping. Right, where were we? It's a far cry from the hit Sweeney delivered with anyone but you. Sorry, when an Englishman of a certain age has in mind, when you ever see Sweeney, all you think of is John Thorne and Dennis Waterman. Nobody knows what I'm talking about. It's a far cry from the hit Sweeney delivered with Anyone But You, a romantic comedy co-starring Glenn Powell that opened in December and generated $214 million worldwide for Sony Pictures. Sweeney said she was able to get Anyone But You off the ground because of the Sony connection she made from signing on to Madame Web. She's also developing a Barbarella remake at Sony that she's expected to star in. I look forward to that. Madame Web is such a large movie with so many people involved, Sweeney added to GQ UK about the superhero flop. I was just hired as an actress and happy to bring to life a character that my little cousins are excited about. There's no outcome I can control on a film like that, especially when I'm not a producer. You sign up for whatever happens and you take the ride. There's definitely a different formula when you're making a film like that. That was very different from what I'm used to. Sweeney starred in Madame Web as Julia Cornwall, an iteration of Spider-Woman. The film sets up Julia for future films, where she can be a superhero, and Sweeney had this to say when asked about returning to the role. I think that if the story is right, and you have the right team, I would love to, she said. During a recent interview with Variety, Sweeney stressed that she wants to continue to act in films that she also produces so that she can have some of the authority that she lacked on a project like Madame Web. I don't like actors being producers as well, unless they're like exceptional. But as a rule, actors are idiots, aren't they? But you know, I suppose, you know, there are exceptions, obviously, but and maybe she's one of them. She'll be perfect for Power Girl in DC. I've only ever seen, I don't know, like cosplayers and stuff. So let's say, obviously, I'm not a comic person, but she's got massive boobs, hasn't she, as Power Girl? So yeah. I want to be, going on with the quote, I want to be as involved in the process for any project moving forward that I possibly can, she said. I love being in the room to be able to problem solve and come up with ideas. It's so important to have multiple people at the table instead of just one, everybody who can be collaborative and truly help build a project. It takes everybody. On Madame Web, it was so hard not being able to be as involved as I love being, and I felt very free with Anyone But You and Immaculate. That's a nun one, and it plays a nun, so the pervs will be out for that, won't they? Like me. Being able to have that. Madame Web became such a punching bag on social media after its release that Sweeney herself joked about it on Saturday Night Live. Quote, you definitely didn't see me, Madame Web, she said. Ha ha ha. While Jimmy Kimmel even had a Madame Web dig in his monologue at the Oscars. But, you know, Jimmy Kimmel's an idiot. The people, this is the quote, the people in this room somehow managed to come up with so many excellent films and memorable performances, Kimmel said. This night is full of enormous talent and untold potential, but so was Madame Web. What's next? A Barbed Wire remake? Why not? Why not indeed? Sweeney's Madame Web co-star Dakota Johnson told Bustle earlier this month. Is that like a magazine for like Victorian? I think I said this before, didn't I? Like Victorian dresses. Anyway, that the reception to the movie did not come as a shock. It was definitely an experience for me to make that movie, Johnson said. I had never done anything like it before. I will probably never do anything like it again because I don't make sense in that world. We've done this before and we've looked at this, but I'll carry on. And I know that now, but sometimes in this industry you sign on to something and it's one thing, and then as you're making it, it becomes a completely different thing. And you're like, wait, what? But it was a real learning experience, and of course it's not nice to be part of something that's ripped to shreds, but I can't say that I don't understand. Madame Web continues to play in theatres nationwide from Sony. I think it's gone onto streaming as well now, I think. Maybe on Amazon Prime or somewhere like that. I'm sure it has. Madame Web continues to play. I've just read that. Sweeney's new film, Immaculate, opens in theatres March 22nd from Neon. There we go. So there we go. There we go. Sydney Sweeney, there she is. Have to go, everyone. Have a nice evening. We'll see you all later. See you later, Josh. Thanks for dropping by and staying as long as you did, which is cool. We're near the end now, anyway. We're getting there. Take care. Take care. Right, what's next? That's the obligatory Sydney Sweeney story out the way. Hey, oh, here we go. This is Sci-Fi Quest's favourite story of the night, this one. This one's from, I don't actually know, comingsoon.net. There we go. Rebel Moon, is there a part 3? How many parts will it have? From Abdul Azim Noshad. I'm not going to do the 9 o'clock news thing. I'm not. Abu Ben Adhem. If you know, you know. Fans are curious about whether or not there will be a Rebel Moon Part 3. By fans, I mean people like Sci-Fi Quest. Because he loves the film. You know, he's just in denial, that's all it is. They also want to know how many parts Zack Snyder's epic space opera franchise will have. Here is all that is known at the moment. Sci-Fi Quest says, what they don't understand is that a remake only works if they don't make changes. Once they change something, it becomes either a reboot or a retcon. Well, they can't keep stuff exactly the same, or it'll just be like bloody Psycho, wouldn't it? That Psycho remake, which were pointless. Which I didn't mind it, as a standalone film, but they just used exactly the same script as the 1960 Psycho film. The slightly adjusted stuff to bring it up to date, like, the amount of money that she stole and a couple of other terms that were in it. Like aspic. They took the word aspic out and changed it to, I think, jello or something like that. But anyway, they've got to make some changes, haven't they? Can't be identical copies. Anyway, back to Rebel Moon, your favourite film, Sci-Fi Quest. Is there a Rebel Moon Part 3 planned? A Rebel Moon 3 is not only planned, but is actively being worked on by Zack Snyder. In an interview with The Hollywood Reporter in 2023, Zack Snyder confirmed that he was working on a Rebel Moon 3, which will be the second instalment in the franchise, following Rebel Moon Part 1, A Child of Fire, which released in December 2023, and the upcoming Rebel Moon Part 2, The Scargiver, which is set to hit Netflix in April 2024, and Sci-Fi Quest will give each of those films a 10 out of 10 because he loves them. Oh, yeah. Don't wait for translation. Answer me now! Zack Snyder is currently in a partnership with Netflix, which includes projects such as Army of the Dead. I liked Army of the Dead as well. He wants a trilogy. What with Trills in from Star Trek. With Dax. Army of the Dead, as I said, I liked Army of the Dead, and I liked the prequel as well, which I forgot what it was called, Army of Thieves or something it was called, wasn't it? I liked that. And the prequel, Army of Thieves. He's currently working on the first Army of the Dead sequel, Planet of the Dead, because there were UFOs at the beginning of Army of the Dead. When we see them before they get to Las Vegas, there's UFOs in the sky. And there's robot zombies for some weird reason. Anyway, and the TV series Army of Thieves. Interestingly, according to Snyder, in a 2023 Total Film interview, both film franchises share the same universe. Zack Snyder has said that Rebel Moon will have at least 4 to 5 parts, not 45, 4 to 5. In an interview with Total Film on November 2023, hashtag proofreading, thing of the past, Snyder confirmed that Rebel Moon, sorry, I've just noticed that down there, the truth about no-fuss cremations in the UK. Do they know something? I don't. Sarvaco says, I bet Snyder already has a Part 3 script ready to go. Well, he just went up to his AI thing and said, write me Part 3 of Rebel Moon. And it churned it out for him. As he wanted this to be a new Star Wars trilogy, yes. Yeah. But as it says, 4 to 5 parts. In an interview with Total Film in November 2023, Snyder confirmed that Rebel Moon would have a trilogy of sequels. So that's another... I don't know. The Man of Steel director also mentioned that he knows how the franchise will end its story. But there's no Death Stars in it. Snyder comments about a trilogy of sequels implies 3 more sequels to the first 2-part Rebel Moon film, including the 3rd instalment that he's currently working on, and 2 more films, thus totaling 5 parts. Oh, that's it. Oh, there we go. So there you go. So there's going to be 5 films for you to watch, Sci-Fi Quest, which you'll love every one of them. The 4th Rebel Moon would probably be a prequel. Yes, it could be. It could very well be. With zombies in. If they're in the same universe. So there we go. So I just thought I'd tell you that. And the next with the trailers out, by the way, because if you go to Sci-Fi Quest channel, he did a trailer reaction for Rebel Moon Part 2, The Scargiver. Got to admit, it's not the best trailer in the world. I like Rebel Moon. Sci-Fi Quest hates it, by the way. I'm kidding. I'm kidding when he says it's the best. He hates it. I don't mind it. I thought the first film, was a solid 7.5 out of 10. It's not the best film ever made, but I was entertained by it. And I suspect it'll be the same for the second one, but I wasn't entirely impressed with the trailer, to be completely honest. But we will see. We will see. It's coming soon. It's coming soon. About a month, innit? About a month. It's a thin line between love and hate. That a Def Leppard song. Oh, that's where love and hate collide, isn't it? Oh dear. Right, what's next? I think we're up to Alien Romulus. Yes, we're up to Alien Romulus. We're going to watch the trailer. Right, so I'll full screen the babe bugger. Right, so Alien Romulus teaser trailer dropped today. This is the film from Fede Alvarez, who brought us the Evil Dead reboot, sequel, whatever it is, that I really liked. And the other film, I forgot what it's bloody called now, Don't Breathe, which is also really good. So hopefully this will be good as well. Right, but it's a teaser. It's only a minute long. Hopefully I won't get a copyright bloody thing. But never mind, we'll see. Right, let's get it up. Here we go. I'll mute myself as well while we watch it, because there might be echoing. So I'll mute myself. Right, so off we go.
Run.
There you go. That's it. A minute, but it's an interesting minute, isn't it? So now, so it's on the 8th of June, 16th of August in 2024. Sort your dates out, America. Good to like the rest of the world. Put the bloody day first. When you put big numbers like thousands and 10,000s, you don't put like the smaller number first, do you? Anyway, whatever. Right, so let's go back and have a look. Right, so we start off, we see some sort of, looks like an escape pod, doesn't it? Or some small ship heading to a big space station. Is it Regular 1? Fetty Alpha 5? But it's in orbit around a ringed planet. So is this Zeta 2 Reticule? You know, the what's its face? LV-426 is a moon orbiting a ringed planet, isn't it? We see an Alien. So is this in that system? I don't know. It's supposed to be set. Oh, it's set between Alien and Aliens, isn't it? So we're going to start seeing, but we can't. It can't be, can it? It can't be to do with LV-426 because they don't know the aliens are there. So I don't know. Anyway, right. So here we go. Hang on, I've got to mute it. From Fede Alvarez, and we get Eerie moving through a ship or the station. I don't know, but we start hear screaming and stuff like that. People pleading for their lives as we pull you through the station. Looking more like, basically more like Alien than Prometheus did, which is fine. But Fede Alvarez has gone on, he's like stuck up for Prometheus, because apparently they're going to be using some story points from Prometheus in this. The black goo, apparently, from what we've heard, and something else, which I've forgotten. I can't remember, but that. But he did stick up for the ship in Prometheus looking all nice and snazzy, and he says his thoughts on it is that the Nostromo, and I suppose to a certain degree the Sulaco, are just a workhorse ships, but the Prometheus was the ship owned by the richest man in the world, so that's why it looked all nice, and he had the best equipment. The station feels like the original aesthetic. Yes. If this is the station, I don't know or is it a ship? I don't know. I'm guessing it's the station. So is it going to be like Alien Isolation? That were on a station, wasn't it? I've not played it. I think we've got it somewhere, but I've not played it. So anyway, right we go. So we're going through the station, and then we see. Here we go. Ooh, a sleep pod. What do they call them? Back to the old sleeperinos. One of them. With all blood in it. Ah, no. What's going on? Obviously, some sort of things happened there. Or it could have been, I could have been in there and my bloody hemorrhoids exploded, which wouldn't be the first time, to be completely honest. But, what's these? Some sort of face-hugging creature leaping at people. Where have these come from, by the way? Don't know. Stasis pods, yes, that's the word. Sleeperinos. But see facehuggers running about, so there must be eggs as well somewhere. Where have the eggs come from? Don't know. Is there a queen lurking on this station somewhere? Don't know. But we'll see, I suppose, when we get to the film. People running. There we go. Throwing flares. Is there a T-Rex after them? There must be. They're throwing flares behind themselves. Don't know what that is. Somebody walking with purpose. Is it that same person? Probably. Who's this? Don't know. Is he a baddie? Is he a robot? Possibly. There were talk, weren't there, that there were going to be Ash were going to be in it, but not as Ash, as Rook, as in Rook and Bishop, chess pieces, pawns, you might say, in Weyland-Yutani's grand game. But there were talk, weren't there, that they're going to have a CG generated Ian Holm as Rook, an android, synthetic. Hyperdyne Systems Model 120A2, don't know. But I'm guessing this looks like another android to me. But I could be wrong. Why? Then we get a bit. There we go. Ooh, this gives me kind of Alien vs Predator Requiem vibes. But I don't know. But is that going in or coming out? It's coming out, right. So is that have they managed to extract, take a facehugger off somebody without killing them? Don't know. But as I said, it gave me Alien vs Predator Requiem vibes, because they did that, didn't it, where they injected or implanted the eggs into the woman in that hospital. Somebody floating about. Whee! Somebody being scared. He's getting blown about. Explosions. Splosions, which is what we want. Some diverse person who turns around just at the wrong moment. I'd do that. That'd be me. I would. That'd be me. And then presumably this is the girl boss. This is the Ellen Ripley of the film, I'm guessing, because she's got a big gun. Getting ready for action. Then looks up and an alien's there. Oh, a xenomorph. Bet she don't die. And then we see the name. Alien Romulus. So what's the Romulus mean? Don't know. Is it the name of the station? The planet? The system they're in? Don't know. Are they at... is it a Star Trek crossover? Obviously not. But there we go. Looking forward to that on the 8th of June, 16th of August, sorry. So there we go. I'm looking forward to that. I think that's a decent teaser. It gives you enough. They supposedly recovered the xenomorph from the original and used the DNA to get the black goo. We will see. We will see. We will see. So only a few months to go. Only if Aidan will want to go see that. Aidan wants to go see, my son, by the way, wants to go see Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, which is not getting good reviews right now. And he also wants to see Godzilla X Kong, which surprised me. He's really into Godzilla now, because I think they're all on Amazon, I think, at the minute. Or Netflix, whatever. They're on one of the streaming services. He's been watching them. So he's right into Godzilla at the moment. So he might want to go see this. We'll see. Hopefully he will. They abandon the station when they break containment. Cool. We will see. We will see in a few months. I don't know anything about the story, apart from it's set between Alien and Aliens in that 57-year gap. But there we go. Right, that's it. We're done. Time is it? Bloody hell. Bloody hell. Right. We'll leave it there. What's coming up next then? What day are we on? Wednesday. Friday's Appointment with Fear. We're doing The Entity. So starring Barbara Hershey. So look forward to that. I've put in the community section, I've done a thing saying that I'll not be putting the trailers at the beginning of Friday Night Appointment with Fear, or no, not a double feature, Wind Grace. Didn't even a sequel to this. I'll not be doing the trailers on Friday Night Appointment with Fear or Magnificent Mondays anymore, because they keep getting copyright strike now and the video keeps getting demonetised. So, not that I'm earning anything, I don't think, but that's by the by. So, according to Wind Grace and Josh Temple, I've got to do a dramatic reading of the plot in lieu of the trailer. Of the plot summary, should I say. So, we'll see, I might do that. Oh dear. Right, so, and that's it. Not a double, a triple feature instead. But there's only one film in the series. It's only that one. Loosely based on, I wouldn't say true story, but I would say loosely based on actual events. Because there's stuff that happens in this that did happen in real life, and there's photographic and film evidence of it. Anyway. So that's on Friday. And on next Monday's Magnificent Monday, where are we? We're doing Total Recall. Get your ass to Mars. Because Arnold Schwarzenegger's from Yorkshire. Right. So we'll leave it there. Right, so as I said, go and subscribe to Wind Grace. Watch his video on his theory about the true identity of Leslye in the upcoming final season of Star Trek Discovery. Double features. Find a way. Yes. So go subscribe to Wind Grace and go and subscribe to Sci-Fi Quest. And he's just done a reaction to the Alien Romulus teaser trailer. So that might be on his channel now. I don't know. And also go and watch his other stuff, his other trailer reactions and stuff like that. And his watch-alongs. Have you got a watch-along tonight? Let's have a look. Oh, pardon me. Bloody burping. Let's have a look, Sci-Fi Quest. When's your next watch-along? Have you set it up yet? Did it. live. Next watch along is oh yes, it's tonight. Yes, yes it is. In about 10 minutes, actually. I think. Oh, hang on, no, it ain't. Wait. Oh, right. I think you set your time wrong, Melvin, for your Outlander watch party. We're waiting for Sci-Fi Quest since 7:05 this evening. But it's supposed to be 11 o'clock. You set it for 7:05. So waiting for Sci-Fi Quest, it says. I'll leave that there. So Outlander, that's the one with Jim Caviezel, where there's an alien human chap who comes to Earth and there's a monster, well, a creature that is with him. It's like a prison, whatever. Crashes on Earth in Viking times and all that. And hilarity ensues. That's that one. Not Outland, as I mistakenly said last night, which is a totally different film with Sean Connery, but never mind. I tried to tune in at like 3 my time. Yes, yes, it said it was hours ago. Yes, it's still waiting for Sci-Fi Quest. It says March 20th. All right, it's changed it now. He's changed it now. We've got a 10-minute countdown now. Right, so that's so. Go over and subscribe to Sci-Fi Quest, and you can join us with Outlander. Is that on Disney Plus, or is it on Amazon? I don't know. I hope so, because I haven't got it. I don't think on DVD or Blu-ray. Anywho, we'll leave it there. Thanks for telling me, he says. Fine. Only because I checked to see if you had anything coming up. Right, we'll leave it there. So, as I said, thanks Windgrace, thanks Sci-Fi Quest, thanks Josh Temple for popping in and watching and stuff, and thanks for the millions watching around the world, and thanks for all the super chats, which never bloody came, but never mind. It doesn't matter. Right, so we'll leave it there. So, thanks for watching, wherever you are, look after each other, and until next time, I'll say they.